Hi everyone, I want to welcome you to this week's episode of the Lesson in 5. The Lesson in 5 is a weekly program where we summarize the Sabbath School Lesson into 5 main points. If you're new around here, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. The Sabbath School Lesson for this week is doing the unthinkable. When Jesus became man, he was taking on the nature of a servant. The Creator became the creature, and in doing that, Jesus was doing the unthinkable. This week, we're going to read about the portraits of the Messiah in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah's testing truth. As you read through Isaiah chapter 50, you will quickly come across a servant who is disfigured for the sake of somebody else. The images that you read there are pretty goring and disturbing. And as we read through this, we wonder, why is this in the Bible? Well, it's a testing truth because it speaks about what Jesus had to go through for you and me to receive eternal life. The Suffering Servant poem. Isaiah 52 from verse 13 going into chapter 53 verse 12 speaks about the suffering servant. A lovely poem that has been repeated time and time again. Here we read about the things that the Messiah, the coming Messiah at this point would have to go through. Speaks about how he would be a man of sorrows and how he was a man acquainted with grief, and he takes on our suffering. Tells us that by his stripes we are healed. Who has believed? When we read about the humiliation that this Messiah would have to go through, it seems almost unbelievable that somebody who was so high became so low. Kind of reminds us about the story of Job, a man who was so wealthy, yet he became so broke, so poor. The story of the Messiah is a story that tells us about how low Jesus became for my sake, how low the Messiah went for your salvation. This is a story that is so simple, yet for many is difficult to grasp. And the question is, who will believe? The unreachable is us. Isaiah tells us that sin separates us from God. Because of our sin and rebellion, we had become repugnant to God. But God still loved us immensely and intently. So God came to reach we who had become unreachable. And how did he do that? He himself became sin so that we can be called the righteousness of God. A transforming reparation offering. Isaiah 53:10 speaks about how the Messiah, how the suffering servant would become a sin offering. Jesus was our sin offering. He took on our sin so that we can have life abundant and life eternal. Jesus became sin for us. The beauty of the gospel is through the sacrifice of Jesus, we are forgiven. We have life that we did not deserve because Jesus suffered the punishment that we deserved. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the Lesson in 5. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until next week, God bless you all.